It's only.
I feel like they.
Why you have to be mad?
Sorry, what was that?
Is he Nashville? Am I close geographically?
They've
The
been cooking it up.
The contracts are coming in.
No one knows what he is. He's a big orange monster
What's
with
he?
googly eyes.
He's
and
a gritty.
Okay.
little.
The Florida lead.
What do you think of Owen's bracket? Do you remember it?
It's hopeful.
Okay, hey, welcome back to the Bread Loves Hockey podcast. We've hit the 20s now, episode 20, and can't believe we made it this far. Pretty
weeks
crazy.
is a long time.
I know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like it's 20 weeks. So it's like definitely more than just like we'll try it sort of thing, and if we don't like it, like we definitely like it at this point. So
Yeah, we can still quit though.
I guess we could
Yeah.
if we really wanted to, but I don't want
You can always
to.
find a new co-host, right?
Actually,
That's why you're interviewing people every week, right? To
find your
potential.
replacement.
yeah.
Yeah, like
Well, Sandroni's definitely up there because this is your second interview. So.
My second. I was here on the 10th, so like keep it every 10. That's a good pace. I like
Yeah,
that.
there you go. We can keep a tradition going.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I think Owen is in the lead.
Owen's definitely in the
Owen.
lead. He's been on 6 times,
Wow.
but he's always eager to be on, so we appreciate that. Not that
Always got
Sandroni's
more Sens news.
Yeah, we do get our fair share of Senators updates.
Like every other week.
Yeah, I feel like we get them more than I talk about Vegas stuff sometimes. Like I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, do I really need to keep talking about like Vegas? But it's like, well,
Yeah.
I mean,
If you want to hear about Vegas or Boston, there's podcasts for that.
we're kind of like a overarching NHL podcast or hockey world podcast with concentrations of
Sure.
Vegas and Bruins and what have you. Apparently, Sabres/Ducks/Rangers today. If we want to get probably not Ducks
Just the
at this point.
Sabres. I don't even know who's playing for the Ducks.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Well, do you have
Been
any?
all
Sabres?
Sabres I've been watching.
Oh, sorry.
Do you have
go
any
ahead.
what?
I was gonna say if you had any Sabres news to share.
Oh, yeah. Well, Tage Thompson's back tonight, but I don't know. They lost the last 3 games. Something's got to change.
yeah,
They play Detroit tonight, which they should beat Detroit. It's almost like a must win now.
And they've
It's
beaten
like-
Boston twice.
Yeah.
Okay
Yeah.
at times, I guess. Their hot start's over, but they still play pretty well.
they're still pretty good. Yeah, it's starting to get to the getting worried part of being a Buffalo Sabres fan. That's all too familiar, I'm afraid.
I
oh,
think
God.
they're in like the same like record as like last year as they were at this time, but last year I think they had like a big win streak going and something. But I don't know. One game they're like beating the Rangers, and then the next game they're like just completely falling apart and letting in 2 goals at a time. It's ridiculous. I can't believe how many times they've like a goal, a minute later another goal. It's just crazy. Goaltending hasn't been the most consistent.
No.
I mean, yeah, Luukkonen has had some great games, but like he's also had some terrible games. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was
Yeah,
kind
and
of like one of the big questions for Buffalo for people that, had reservations about them making the playoffs going into this season was, the goaltending tandem not being totally fleshed out. Like they basically had 3, with
Yeah.
Levi expected to be the future guy, maybe Luukkonen could be the guy too, but I think they were kind of expecting Levi and then Comrie also
Yeah.
there. So none of them have really
I think
panned out.
what happened was
fully
they
yet.
really got like caught with their hands tied and like, oh, we didn't get a goalie, so here's what we have.
Yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
they didn't try for one in like opening day free agency. So then it's like, well, the market's pretty much dried up, and I don't really want to trade assets to get one when it's kind of like a slap in the face to the guys that are already here. And I think they do expect something with Levi. He has been playing a little bit in Rochester now.
Yeah, they sent him down there.
I think that's probably
so. I
good.
guess Luukkonen's the number 1, and Comrie's the number 2 there.
Yeah.
It's definitely good for Levi. Like he's gonna get like consistent time in Rochester. It's expectations were he'll get like a few starts this year. I think they went into the season with him as the number 1, which I think was pretty hopeful, but it wasn't really panning out, and I think there's a lot of development that needs to happen with Levi. Luukkonen really, and if you cherry pick the games, he's been incredible. Like he's been everything you could ask for, but you can't cherry pick the games.
Yeah.
He's
I was always
got
funny
to
when they
show up every
pick
night.
stats and like, oh well, this team when they won, they like had this great like shooting percentage and all this stuff. It's like, well, yeah, they won. Yeah, I think it's good that they're not like hanging on to Levi, like sending him down and
you
not.
You can't just like blame the goalie too. I mean, like the games that Luukkonen did really well, the Sabres were like controlling the puck the entire game. They were really pressuring the other team, and it was just they're like overall good games. And then the last like 3 games, and then a bunch of games scattered in between in the first quarter of the season, just. They don't look like what we expected, like a really fast pace, a lot of offense type of team.
Yeah, the offense hasn't been the same this year compared to last year. I think, like especially when they were rolling, like they were good for 3, 4, 5 goals a night, pretty much guaranteed. Maybe they were letting in 3 or 4 also, but they were usually winning those games. And they're not winning, they're not really winning those games this year so far. They've won a couple close, like low scoring games, and obviously they've had a couple big wins, but I think it's been not the sustainable offense that they were looking for, which is just another frustrating thing to have to deal with. Like especially coming into the season with such high hopes, and like you really felt like they were going to be turning the page this year. I mean, it's still early, but it's getting harder and harder to say that every week. Now that we're already in Hanukkah and we're getting close to the end of the year, so
it's that Hanukkah milestone that everyone uses as a benchmark for the league.
Yeah. Every every day of the 8 days, they do a little check on the standings.
That's the thing. For sure, they could turn it around. It's going to be hard. Maybe Tage coming back tonight might turn things around, but they still got Alex Tuck. Alex Tuck's on injury, so is Greenway. It's like, there's still some key pieces that aren't in there. I mean, Greenway's had an amazing start to the season, but just lost that production. Yeah.
That's tough.
Looking forward to see where it's going.
Too, Brendan.
Yeah.
Because
you could start calling up everyone that's on injured reserve. Say, hey, you got anything going on?
You got nothing to do.
Yeah, you're just
doing rehab.
Just watching the game.
Yeah, I think that's another thing about Buffalo, where like you said with the goaltending, and if they're like people expect their offense to be good, so it's like, well, you only need the goaltenders to save like or allow 4 goals a game because Buffalo's going to score over 5 is what like the thought process could be. So offense is down and the goal, like they're letting in a lot of goals and not scoring a bunch, and that's not quite the recipe for success.
Yeah.
But you know who has been scoring goals is Tristan Jarry. He scores his first career goal, which I thought was pretty funny. It's always funny when they put that up there. Like I think they did that for Allmark when he scored last year too. It's like, yeah, no shit. Although Nedeljkovic did
score too.
Rene did score. I think that was like 2019. I want to say. I think those are the most recent goals by goalies. But yeah, Nedeljkovic, who's the Penguins' like third goalie, or basically he's the AHL guy. He scored 2 goals in the AHL. He scored one this season. I think he had scored one previously. So I think that's the first time that's happened in the American Hockey League, which is pretty cool.
That's really That's a stat you can weigh championships against. Really, it's quite telling.
Oh yeah.
If you got a goaltender that can do that, it's like having 6 skaters out there.
I mean, there's certainly something for having a goaltender that's able to, like, if they're catching the defense or the other team on a change and can make a nice stretch pass play, like there is obviously benefits to that. But it's risky, and not every goalie can do it or tries it. But like I know Logan Thompson has had 2 assists already this year, which is pretty good. I know Shesterkin is usually pretty aggressive when it comes to playing the puck. There's a couple other goalies that are like that.
Also, goalies that are like mobile enough to get behind the net when the puck gets wrapped around the boards to stop it, like undumping chases. Like that can like really break up that offensive chance and just get back to the defense.
Yeah, and it's probably something that maybe gets underlooked, at least as far as how fans like scout goalies. I think the actual professional scouts are a little more keen to that sort of thing, the minute stuff, the not actually stopping the puck parts of the goaltender's responsibilities, but it's definitely valuable. And
like playing the puck and actually coming out and helping out with the clear rather than just passing it off and letting your defenseman take it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Or even like knowing when to cover the puck. Like, small things like that.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen a couple of Bruins games where Swayman has had some kind of aggressive, like where he didn't freeze the puck to keep the play going, especially in like key moments, which I've been like, it's not that common because it's just so risky. Like usually the reward isn't there because obviously there's usually somebody crashing the net, but it can work. A lot more like Chell, where basically nobody freezes the puck.
Always pass it out.
Yeah.
And then, which is like some people literally always like you could be standing in front of them and they'll pass it right to you and you have like an open net.
Yeah.
It's like a habit.
Yeah,
Which I've definitely never done.
I'm sure it gets pretty mindless. It's like, here's the save, and I want to play offense now. Like, yeah, I don't want to have to deal with winning a face-off and going back into the neutral zone, all that stuff. It's a lot more fun to try to score goals. But that's hard.
Quickly go through the trades and extensions.
Yeah, so there have been a couple of those recently. Most notably, Chicago's involved, but Vancouver takes the pick that they got from Chicago, the fifth round pick they got, and they trade it to Calgary as well as their own third in 2026, and they get Nikita Zadorov. So they win the Zadorov sweepstakes, and they didn't really pay that much to get him for a team that's already like doing pretty well. So I wasn't happy about it as somebody who doesn't like Vancouver and roots for Vegas. I don't like seeing Pacific teams improve, but a smart move by Patrick Allvin, I think.
What did they give up to get the 5th? Do you remember?
That was for the Beauvillier trade.
Okay.
So, he's already playing in Chicago, and he actually. So I mentioned on the podcast when we broke the news that like maybe he could play with Bedard, like talking about them fledging out their young core, and actually he is playing on the first line. So we'll see how that story develops. I don't have any stats pulled up yet for how he's doing, but he's only been there for like 1 or 2 games, I think. But so we'll see. But anyway, Zadorov, good pickup. I think they kind of knew that Calgary wasn't really in a strong position to keep him. Maybe Craig Conroy could have held out for a little bit more, but I think the fit worked, and Zadorov probably wanted to go there. So good on them.
Never have enough defensemen.
No, definitely not. So that's the news for the trades, and then we did have a couple extensions. Sam Montembeault, I guess you could consider him the backup for Montreal. There's kind of like they kind of got like a 3-person rotation going right now with Primo and Allen. I think is the starter at this point, but he gets a 3-year extension, 3.15 per, which not crazy. I don't actually know what they're paying Allen right now, but I think that's probably pretty reasonable for him. So that kicks in next year.
You think that means they're not going to trade him, or
I was wondering about it. I was like, is that like a tantalizing extension?
Good news or bad news?
Yeah, I know. Like, does Edmonton want to take on like a 3-year contract that kicks in next year to get this guy for the season and see what he can do? Like, it's kind of like if he doesn't pay out, if you trade for him this year, it's kind of like a big risk. Like, oh great, now we've got Montembeault who like totally doesn't fit here, and we've got him for 3 seasons, and now we got to find a way to get something for him, like trade him somewhere else. So I feel like it probably means he's not the one to move. So maybe talks about Primo going to Edmonton heat up, but I haven't heard much on like the Edmonton goalie front recently, so maybe
the other thing I heard is that they're probably going to bring Jake Allen back. Like, he had some good games and then some bad games, but like to buy him out, it's like $10 million, so that doesn't make sense. So like they might as well give him one more try. It's just you have to have a short leash on that, just because like you can't afford to lose too many more games.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you can get him going again, you just need to get. I think it seems mental, right? Like, we know what he's capable of. Like, he can be a good goalie. It's just getting him in the right headspace, and if you can do that, then you might fix a lot of your problems if you're Edmonton.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see how that plays out. I think they've been improving a little bit. I don't think they've necessarily still been looking like the Edmonton that we were expecting going into this year, but I don't think they're being completely written off at this point for playoff push, but they're not there yet.
Yeah, they were never written off.
I mean, I think some people, like, it was a pretty...
Did you write him off, Sandroni?
It was a pretty abysmal
Oh, yeah. Of course. Who wasn't writing him off?
Well, I mean, there was still at least like 50% chance to make the playoffs if you go by like money puck, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people do the thing where it's like, they'll be like, oh, Tampa's not going to make it in the playoffs this year. Like, Vasilevsky's out and all this stuff, but like you can't bet against teams like that.
No,
the same with Edmonton, where it's like,
yeah, I don't know a lot about Edmonton. I hardly see them play, and
it's tough when they play at 10 o'clock every night.
Yes, yeah.
Well, they've won their last 4 games.
Yeah, so that's good. And then
I know it seems like the Flames have been like trying to offload a lot of their guys. I only know this from like Buffalo Trade Mill, like who would actually help, and then like probably no one. But
they're 7-3 in their last 10. That's pretty.
Edmonton is.
Yeah.
That's helpful. Yeah, Calgary is kind of all. I think they're kind of done for this year, most likely, unless they make a push.
What? I had them in my bracket, I think.
I know. So did I. And Edmonton, so there's that.
I had Vancouver.
Yeah, you actually hit the nail on the head there, although you did have them in a wild card spot, which maybe that's where they'll end up, but they're looking like, second, third, potentially first in the Pacific right now. They could end up pretty strong, but you did get that one right. Well, I guess we'll see, but it would be pretty funny if they didn't make it at this point.
Well, I had the Kraken, I think, as well, and I don't
Yeah.
know, they're not doing too.
They're not. They've lost like 4 or 5 games in a row. They're struggling.
Yeah.
I don't really know what's going on with them, but they're not figuring it out. So Markstrom is actually out week to week. He's got like a sprained or fractured finger or something like that. So Dustin Wolf, the rookie's coming back up. So I think it'll be good to get some looks from him, because he's kind of been like the projected goalie of the future for Calgary since they drafted him. We've already talked a little bit about him before, but so we'll see how that plays out. And then the other extension, Nino Niederreiter with Winnipeg, he gets a 3x4 extension, so pretty similar to the Montembeault one, but different positions. But Niederreiter's looked pretty good. He's been producing pretty well offensively, and he's been pretty strong on the defensive side too. I just saw like the JFresh stat page for him when the extension went out, and yeah, he looks like he's doing pretty good and fitting in well, which you need if you're Winnipeg, because they really would like to have some guys that want to play there and see a future in Winnipeg. So good on them getting that done before he changed his mind. No, he's bounced around a little bit the last couple of years, so I'm sure he's happy to have anywhere that he can stay for a shortish amount of time, but still, like 3 years is not too bad for hockey players.
What jersey you got on there?
Yotes. They have been killing it, honestly, lately. They're on like a 5-game win streak, and this has been going around recently. They've beaten the past 6 actually, or 5 different Stanley Cup champion teams. So they beat I got
it in front of me if you want me to do it instead of going off of memory. Unless you want to go off memory.
Well, I know the teams that they played, but I don't know what order I think I know the order they played them in.
It started with your team in Vegas, a 2-0 win, and then they beat Tampa 3-1 in Tampa. Let me make sure I have the home. Sorry.
In Arizona, I think.
Yeah. So they beat the Golden Knights in Vegas.
Yeah.
And then they had a home game win against Tampa 3-1, against Colorado in overtime 4-3. Blues 4-1, Caps 6-0. Those are all the home games.
So that's all the champions from 2018 to 2023.
And it's crazy that the schedule just had, like, they probably saw it at the start of the year, like, oh, come on, give us a break.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
like,
go out and just beat them all.
Crap. Yeah. And they're not playing the Penguins next, though, which would be kind of funny, because that would be the next
3 games between that.
Next team in line. They're playing the Flyers, though. That's pretty close. Same state. I'm sure any Flyers or any Pittsburgh fan would be like, we're not the same. Do not compare us. We're
and then they play the Bruins. They won 12 years ago.
There you go. Yeah, we could really start getting into the weeds.
Well, then there's nothing to say about Buffalo.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They made a couple finals. That's more than Arizona can say.
Yeah.
But good for Arizona. I mean, I've been pushing for them. I've worn my fair share of Arizona jerseys already on the podcast. We've only had 20 episodes. I haven't even worn a jersey in every one.
Do you ever repeat? Have you had to repeat yet?
I won't. I wouldn't have to for like a very long time. I don't think I have either.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I've been sort of making a subconscious effort to not wear the same one that I've already worn. But now I've already worn 2 of my favorite Arizona jerseys, so I'm gonna have to take a little bit before I dig back into that.
Brakes on for a bit. Yeah. As you make more episodes, are you gonna have to? Are you gonna be in danger of repeating your jersey? Are you gonna have to
buy more?
Put together a jersey budget. How sustainable is that?
Well, let's see.
How many jerseys do you have?
I've got a pretty good head start right now. I'm at like, I think I have like 110 or so in my whole
More
collection.
than I
So
thought.
there's a couple that I probably
Mm.
couldn't wear because, well, one of them is a made in Canada one that's way too big, so I wouldn't wear that one.
That's
But
what, 2 years of podcasting.
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm sure that I will be buying more between now and then.
Okay.
Actually, I have one
So,
on the way right now, so
so the odds are
Buffalo.
good about never running out of jerseys.
The odds
You
are
just
very
need to
good.
now remember. You have to like put them to the side so you know which ones.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna have to keep a mental note or
Yeah, episode 100, like which jerseys have I worn?
episode 100. We're gonna have to make that one special. It's gonna have to be a
Just
really
wear
good
all your
jersey.
jerseys at the same time.
You gotta
I've
hire a
already
secretary to go through and keep
There
track
you
of your
go.
jerseys. Yeah.
I don't even pay Dean to edit the episode, so I'm not gonna hire a secretary, but I think I could handle it myself.
Every episode, you sign the jersey you wore and send it to a fan.
No.
Yes.
There's only gonna be like one fan that
It's
gets
gonna be
every one of my
Owen. It's
jerseys.
gonna be Owen's mom.
They'll slowly start to appear behind Owen.
Yeah, yeah. Suddenly his background is like absolutely and you start to see my rack like depleting.
Yeah.
Oh no, these are mine. I paid good money for them, but yeah, there's that.
Well, the other good team was Minnesota recently. Since the coaching change we
Mhm.
discussed last week, they've won their 3 games. So I don't know. We'll see if it's just one of those new coach kind of like bounces where you have a new voice in the room, or if it sticks.
Yeah, I mean
Only
that's
time will tell. They have their Canadian
what happens.
trip going on. They have Calgary tonight, and then Vancouver and Edmonton back to back. So we will see how they do as they continue along here.
Yeah, I think so far so good. Obviously, I think both of us were a little bit skeptical about how Hines would fit in. Dean especially was a little unsure, but
I'm still unsure.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to be proven wrong, but 3 games isn't enough sample size.
small
No.
sample size. Yeah,
I won't admit I'm wrong yet.
it could be like a Rick Tocchet hiring last year for Vancouver sort of situation where maybe it takes most of the season or into next year to really fledge things out, but it worked really well for Vancouver, at least so far. So yeah, promising for Wild fans that have been struggling this season and not really sure why the team is underperforming. Like I think the goalies haven't been to the same standard, but other than that, at least from afar, I didn't think that they were doing that bad. But yeah, they haven't been where they need to be. Although we talked about the whole 14 million dead cap, which obviously that's a big factor for why they haven't been able to really get over the hump. They keep making the playoffs, they keep losing in classic Minnesota fashion in the first round.
Well, at least next year they should get an extra 4 million or so in cap space.
Yeah, and then I think after that is when it all comes off the books, right?
Well, I just meant with the raised cap projection.
Oh, I see, yeah.
'Cause it's gonna projected to be going from 83.5 to 87.675. So that should help a little bit. But yeah, based on the buyout, I don't know exactly when that would be. But yeah, they're also getting close on that.
I want to say the buyout is like completely done after next season.
I will tell you.
But yeah, the cap finally going up by more than $1 million is. I mean, we'll believe it when we see it.
It's not done till 28-29 is the last season.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking it's just a big drop in the amount.
It is. Oh yeah, this year and next year they're paying the 14.743, and then it goes to 1.6 or 1.67.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's like a major drop.
Like comparatively, it's basically gone. But yeah, then they're paying each of them $833,000 for those next 4 years. But
Yeah.
getting 13 million back is, can't complain. But yeah, they got one more year at the 14 mark.
Yeah, so hopefully by the end of 24-25, they're in a spot where they still feel that they can compete. Because it would suck to like feel like your team's not going to be able to make it through, and then you have to sort of do a on the fly rebuild after you finally get all this space. Now you have to figure out the whole team again, basically.
Yeah.
They still have some young prospects though, so
Yeah, I think this year and next, you'd think you'd want to just spend it on like developing prospects. I mean, obviously, you're gonna try to make the playoffs because that's where you get your money as a franchise. But like, I think the smart thing would be develop, and then once you get the money off the books, then you can start really building.
what do you, Sandroni? How do you think the cap going up by like 4 million might impact the Sabres specifically?
Yeah. Well, isn't that like 4 million's like a role player, right?
At this point, yeah.
Can
Yeah.
be, or it could keep somebody around, like able to get an extension done that you probably didn't have the funds for before.
Get two fourth liners.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll find a way to somehow keep us excited out here and then like crash right about now and then in the season.
I mean, the other problem
Yeah,
is like um these newer contracts, they're like higher than what
mhm.
well, not that what people expect, but they're higher than the previous ones. It's like, oh well, the cap's going up, so it makes sense. So like all the money's already going to these new
Yeah.
contracts. So it's like, will there actually be anything left next year with
Yeah, so it's just the same players are getting more expensive.
yeah.
So
There's
I don't
definitely some
know.
of that to a degree.
I,
Yeah.
there's some strategizing that could happen like right away, right when the change first happens, but like after a year or two, it's going to be the same league. It's like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of have to hope that some of these teams are already have already been planning for this, because
Mhm.
you can't make moves, just for this year, for next year. Like you really have to have a lot of forethought for how you see the team fledging out over the next, 3 or 4 years. So I'm sure there's been GMs that have been thwarted, like with their roster moves. Like I know a lot of people have talked about the moves that Dubas made when he was in Toronto, like around the bubble time that's when the freeze happened basically, and it felt like some of those big term contracts that they signed were with the expectation that they were going to get a lot of cap relief by the cap ceiling going up, and then with the pause, it just completely shifted everything. So, um, hopefully that we're finally out of that sort of stage. I don't know if like after next season it'll go up by another 4 million. I'd say probably not, but you know, we'll I guess we'll play it by ear.
Yeah, I feel like 4 million is more than normal, but that's still less than 5%. And I feel like these contract extensions they're paying players more than like an additional 5% above what they're worth, kind of thing. So people are still getting paid a lot of money, and it's not going up a lot. So it's it'll be some relief, but it probably won't be too noticeable, I don't think.
It might at least like encourage teams to make moves that they might not have even considered previously, just because they have a little bit more flexibility, and especially in the off season when you have decisions about UFAs and things like that. So you might be able to make a bigger splash play, and maybe you shed some of your lower depth guys in order to get a bigger name. So I think this offseason is going to be pretty interesting to watch.
Yeah, I just think cap room's still going to be tighter than pre-COVID for a few more years. Like, still going to be a while to get back to where it was.
Yeah, that's probably that's probably true. But at least it's
It's
something,
something.
and we'll see how much it really changes. But That's one of the. It hasn't been like officially announced, but that's what all the insiders are saying because they had the board of governors meeting was today, so they had a couple other discussions and they've announced the entry draft for this or 2024 this season is going to be at the Sphere in Las Vegas. Have you seen that Sphere, Sandroni?
I have.
It's crazy. That's a big move for the NHL. Apparently, they paid a lot to get it, which I'm not surprised.
I bet, yeah.
I think like advertising on it, it's like 150 million for I don't know how long the time that you have it for, but it's like it's pretty exorbitant. I mean, it's just a gigantic advertisement, is what it is. It's like
Well, it's all going to go into the ticket prices for the draft.
yeah.
Well, Formula One just had it locked up. They raced down the Vegas Strip
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, and they had I think they had whatever cartoon figure they have there with like a racing helmet and stuff. Yeah,
it's pretty crazy what they can do with it. So I'm excited for what the NHL is going to be able to do with having the Sphere at their disposal. I don't know how like innovative they're going to get, but I think obviously it's a huge spotlight for the league and for the world to see the NHL, because I think a lot of people have been talking about the Sphere like since it sort of cropped up. Maybe not so much recently because we're getting more used to it, but it's a big money play by Gary Bettman and company, so good on them. And then,
hope they don't break it.
Yeah, gosh.
That'd be
news.
some good publicity.
Yeah, it's any news is good news, right?
The NHL breaks the Sphere. But yeah, I don't really have high expectations just knowing the NHL. Like, they're gonna treat it as a TV. No, I don't know. But I mean, it'll be cool. But I don't expect to be like blown out of the water by it.
No, me either. And then the theory or the rumor is that this will be the last in-person one, and then after this they are gonna do the decentralization. So the players that are gonna be drafted are gonna be in a different location than the management teams. So I think the thought process is more trades probably happening on draft days, because they're not literally sitting right next to in earshot of the other teams. So hopefully that's the case, because I think that's the rationale, and it sounds like it's not going to take a whole lot away from the players. Like, they don't really need to hang out with all of the frickin' 15 different members of the management group and the team that are like all there handing out the jerseys and stuff. It's like, all right, sometimes, especially the first round, it's like it takes like 10 minutes in between picks, and it's like, especially if it's going to be in Vegas, like there's no way I'm going to be able to watch like the 30-second pick be made on the first day.
Right.
But maybe next year, if it goes a bit quicker.
I guess we can talk about PWHL is experimenting with a couple rule changes. So right now, we talked about last week, I think, that I'm gonna wait because okay, Brendan's back. You got all blurry for a sec.
Yeah, you went blurry.
You went blurry.
We'll
we talked about last week, I think, that the season starts January 1st. So right now they're just scrimmaging, but they've been experimenting with some rule changes.
Yeah.
One of which is that all 2-minute penalties are essentially majors, so that no matter how many goals get scored on the power play, it doesn't end, which was a thing in the NHL, and then the Canadians ruined it like they do everything, because they scored too many goals on power plays.
It was in what, like the 50s?
Darn them.
Something like that. Yeah, when they went back when they were good in the 50s, that was the last time they were good.
They weren't complaining about it though.
Sure. So that's one thing, and then the other thing with the power plays is on the penalty kill, you can't just ice the puck. It's just a normal icing. So if you clear the puck out of the zone from behind center ice and ice it, then it's just like you weren't on the penalty kill and you have to take a face off in your own end. So that should both these rule changes should promote more goals and more scoring. And one other thing that should also promote more scoring, the one other thing that they're experimenting with is having a long change on the first and third periods instead of the second period. So again, that's basically allows, or it's more likely for like defenders to get pinned in their own end because they have to go all the way to the other bench to line change. So it's just another thing to maybe see more scoring. So again, if this is all just in for scrimmaging, and if they like these changes, they'll implement them when they start playing actual games in January. So it'll be interesting to see. I feel like this is a good chance to try these things. Maybe get more people to watch, and maybe if it goes
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
bring them into the NHL.
you really gotta showcase like the skill players and that kind of
Hmm.
stuff if you're trying to launch this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly a lot of really talented female players that haven't probably gotten enough attention just because they don't play in the NHL. So, yeah, I think it's good that they're trying it. Obviously, this is like their guinea pig year for a lot of things. We've already talked about the branding not being there yet. They're gonna do the full jerseys next year is the expectation at this point. So I think it's good. I think people will want to watch games that have a lot of goals. I don't know if it's gonna like make goals go like crazy high, but it will make like watching your team on the penalty kill probably a little bit more interesting because there's a bit more expectation for your team to counterattack. Just because they can't dump it. But obviously it's a little more intimidating as well. Like you really have to be strong defensively. You got to kill off the full 2 minutes no matter what. So I'm interested to see that. I didn't know that they were not implementing them yet, and that it was just for the scrimmages. But I think that's probably a good start.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're really not that far out from seeing these ladies play. So pretty interesting. We still haven't heard anything as far as how games are going to be viewed for people not at the game. I don't think they've delved into that as far as like streaming and TV and stuff like that. So we'll keep our eyes peeled. Also in different league news. So the ECHL has a new team, a new franchise. I don't remember if it's the Lake Tahoe is the full name or just Tahoe. And then it's the Night Monsters, which is kind of I thought it was sort of weird at first, but obviously they're trying to it's the expectation that they're going to be the affiliate for Vegas going forward. Which I wasn't sure at first, but I think that that is the expectation. Because they're currently partnered with Savannah, the Savannah Ghost Pirates. Obviously, Savannah not very close to Vegas. I mean, you're not normally calling up your ECHL guys nearly as much as your American League guys, but still, it's just one more thing. So now they'll be in. They haven't officially announced it yet, but I think everybody's pretty much assuming based on the branding and the colors and the location that they will be the new affiliate going into next year. So, I haven't
Another jersey for you to buy.
Yeah, I haven't even bought Henderson or Savannah yet, so
The
I guess we'll
Firebirds are
see.
such a cool jersey.
Yeah, the Firebird ones are really awesome. I really like their colors. But they're just like they're only priced like slightly below what the NHL jerseys are normally priced at. It's like, I'm just not. I don't follow the league that much, so I'm not even really sure how often I would actually wear them. Like, I'm not saying I wear all of these all the time, but
on the podcast,
yeah, once a week.
you'll have a whole hour and a half, at least.
And I did wear 2 different jerseys in the last episode. Owen made me change halfway through.
I also feel like the ECHL and AHL jerseys are probably harder to find on secondary markets too. Like where you get those deals,
Yeah.
the NHL jerseys, like people have old ones that they're just getting rid of. It's probably less supply out there.
Definitely, yeah. Like, I think I would probably only buy them if there was a sale through like the official retailer, like through the AHL store or through, the ECHL or whatever.
Maybe some of those websites have mystery boxes with like AHL stuff.
Could be. I mean, yeah, I definitely wouldn't like. I don't think I would get a mystery box for NHL jerseys at this point because there's a good chance I already, have it if it's from this most recent era. Um, but I think I guess I could probably do that. I'm not even really that familiar with all of the minor league jerseys, like what they look
Right.
like
Well,
and
would you
stuff.
wear like some random AHL jersey of like I don't know,
I More than likely I wouldn't, but
like a Monarchs jersey? Just
yeah, they're what ECHL.
well, I don't even know anymore because I think I've mentioned this. Like the Manchester Monarchs they played in New Hampshire and we used to go see them when they were the AHL team, and then they I think moved to ECHL, and then I think now, or I think it's the Reign, right? That's the Kings AHL
Oh,
team now.
Ontario
I
Reign.
think. I think so.
Gotcha.
I don't know. The Monarchs are probably still like ECHL or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
We got a
probably true.
few. We got a few of them in my stretch of the. We have Rochester. It's the Syracuse Crush.
Crunch.
Crunch.
They could get sponsorship if they switch.
And then there's one in Utica too, right?
Comets.
The Comets, yeah.
We went to a game. We went to Utica Comets game actually. And they actually won. I couldn't believe it. They won in overtime too. I was like, oh my god, this is very.
I was there with you.
This is very rare for me. I couldn't believe like how small that arena was, and like we were literally right.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were pretty much right there.
Yeah.
Which
I think they do like indoor soccer in that arena.
Yeah, I bet they
or
do.
something like that.
It definitely is tailored for that, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
But that was cool. I'll probably try to get to some other AHL ones because they're definitely not nearly the same price to go to them as it is for full NHL games. And there's a couple more options that are closer to me. Like Utica's not bad. Syracuse and Rochester are a little bit further, but not too bad either.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
come out to a Buffalo game. I can get tickets.
Yeah, I probably.
Now you can crash here. I got a futon.
Oh, very good.
It's like college.
Just like college, only it's a little bit more comfortable.
The $100 Walmart one.
Yeah, right. The one that
not
everybody
the Walmart
bought.
one. It's like made out of chicken wire.
Like, I'm not really sure if this is actually meant to support people sleeping on it all night.
Yeah.
Well, also we sat on it every day, so I mean, it makes sense that after a year, like the cushion would just be gone.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I'm like right down the road from the Bills Stadium too.
Oh, really?
Like Orchard Park's like right there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I am going to be doing a double feature of seeing the Sabres play on the 30th and then see the Bills play on the 31st. So I'm excited to do that. That's my first time doing both of them in the same trip. I've done both of them separately, though. What was that, Dean?
You get disappointed twice.
Yeah, that's probably what'll happen.
I'm going to the Cowboys-Bills game, and there's a good chance that the Cowboys would have clinched and the Bills would have been eliminated by that game. So, and we paid a lot because it's the Cowboys.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I'm hoping that we're still
$300
alive
to
when
get
we
in
play
the door.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
No, it'll either if they are still alive, that'll be a good game because they would need to win.
Yeah, right.
At least how it's going right now.
That's what I'm hoping for the game I'm going to. Also, I'm like, please be a meaningful game. Like, I'll obviously be devastated if they lose if it's a meaningful game, but like, at least they're playing for something. So.
I love the Buffalo culture out here too. I've been out in Buffalo for almost a month now, and when I interviewed out here, I went to work and like everyone in the factory wears Bills jerseys on Fridays. So I was in a suit, and then everyone has their paraphernalia.
Yeah.
There's like a Sabres flag and a Bills flag that are hanging, and that everyone's really into it out here. So it's like I didn't have a pro sports team back home, so
Yeah. Well, of all the cities too, Buffalo's definitely up there in the intensity of the fandom.
intensity, yeah.
And
Yeah,
Philly,
you
Philly
gotta.
as well.
Yeah.
You can't go anywhere without your bottle of mustard to like hose someone down. They're always asking for it.
You can never have too many tables.
Yep.
Yeah, that too.
The table factories out here, they're doing very well.
Yeah, good business.
They got a steady stream profit margin going.
I bet they actually see sales go up during the football season, which is funny.
Yeah,
They probably do. They're probably lobbying
them
the
and
NHL.
chiropractors
NFL.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget those on like a Monday morning.
And probably heart surgeons too.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, and therapists.
Yeah, the Bills did it again. Like
It's really a booming city.
Yeah,
A lot of economy.
big time of year. The summer, nothing's really going on during the summer. But maybe if they had baseball.
Well, during COVID they had Toronto was playing over here.
Oh yeah,
for baseball. Yeah,
I do remember that.
'Cause they couldn't go out of the country, so you got it's like a small arena, Major League Baseball.
Yeah, that was it was like they were using a AAA team stadium.
Yeah, something like that.
Can't remember which. I've driven past the arena before. I know that, but I can't remember what team it was.
Mm-hmm.
Bisons,
I
maybe?
don't know.
I don't know. But yeah,
Probably.
that was kind of different. Yeah.
Yeah, they have the Bandits as their lacrosse team.
I think
they're
been
pretty
a couple
good.
of those games.
Yeah,
They just won the championship last year.
If you go to Key Bank where the Sabres play, the Bandits are catching up as far as the banners up on top.
Not a lot.
Like,
not a
they're
lot to hang
catching
up
up,
for
if
Sabres.
not ahead.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, hasn't been a lot of reasons to hang banners for the Sabres in a long time.
Very disappointing.
Yeah.
You get so excited about them because they're really they're a fun team to watch, especially this year. And
They're streaky.
a lot of young guys.
Yeah.
But
they'll start off with like a 10-game win streak, and then
that finally didn't.
Some games you just
didn't happen this year though. So maybe
some games you just turn it on and like you know what it's gonna end up being.
Yeah.
It's just depends on the day really, and they really got to get a little more consistent with that.
Yeah.
If they want to stick around.
Otherwise, it's gonna be another year added to the drought.
Yeah. Yep.
And the Bills only pretty recently got out of their long drought. What was it, 17 years or something without playoffs for the Bills?
Yeah.
So hopefully that's
Something
not
like
the
that.
Sabres in the Sabres' future. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. You just want to be in the dance.
Yep.
Just
That's everyone's goal, right?
all you need is a chance. Just give me a chance.
Just give me that's Vegas there. Give me a chance.
Yeah, and they got the good odds too.
Yeah.
I think it's getting closer and closer to being a reality for Arizona. I mean, they're in a wild card spot right now.
Mhm.
Obviously, they're on the.
I was
5-game
wondering
win
when you
streak.
were going to bring them up again.
It's about now.
It's
It'll be
about
their first
now.
time being buyers at the deadline in so many years.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's crazy to even think about, but I mean, things are really like they have been scoring in bunches too. Like they haven't been winning a ton of like really close games. I know the Vegas game was 2-0, so that one obviously was not a big scoring game, but they just beat the Capitals 6-0. They beat Avalanche 4-3, so that's sort of high scoring. I think the Lightning game was also similar, maybe like 4-1.
You know who
You
was
said
in net for the shutouts with the same goalie?
I think it was Ingram both times. Yeah, Ingram has been on a pretty good tear. I think he's like, I want to say 10-3, which those are pretty unreal numbers for any Arizona goaltender over the past how many years to have 10 wins already in like basically the quarter mark of the season. That's pretty unheard of. So I think they're finally getting people excited to go. I mean, they have a small arena, but they have had people actually going to the games. And this hasn't been confirmed or anything yet, but I'll just mention that there's rumors that they have purchased an area of land to build a new arena on. They're saying it's in like the Desert Ridge area. I'm not going to pretend that I know the geography, but it sounded like that based on the comments that I was reading that could be a pretty good location based on the throughways and things that pass through and the food options and things. So we should know more next month, but that's promising, and I'm sure a lot of Coyotes fans are hoping that they can finally take a breath on wondering if their team is going to be here, in 2 or 3 years, because I think they have Mullet for 2 more seasons, and then after that they don't have a home. So you definitely don't want to be playing in Mullet forever. As kind of intimate and different as it is, it's not your own arena. You have another team's logo on the ice, which is weird, and you want to be able to sell 18,000, 20,000 tickets, not 4,600.
Yeah.
But if they can make it through to this point where they're actually able to go out on their own, not have to do public funding, because that's what tripped them up last time with the whole Tempe thing is that part of it was going to be publicly funded. I think most of it was not going to be, like around 85% maybe. I'll have to double check those numbers, but I think that was the plan, and then they had to get it approved because of the funding, and they were going to be revamping like a toxic waste dump or whatever, which I don't know why anybody would be opposed to that, but they're not using it right now. I think it was one of like the reporters for Arizona, I think it was Craig Morgan, like went to the site after the fact, like oh look, here's the area that they were gonna have the arena that got shut down. Like look how everybody's using it. It's just like a gated off pile of garbage and stuff. Basically, it's like.
So we thought today would be a good time to go check out and see how the progress is coming on the new park. Let's go.
Well, we're here, and the Tempe voters were right. There's no traffic, there's no noise, there's no high rent housing. There's also no tax break for billionaires. And that's the bad news. For the good news, I don't like crowds, and we have the whole park to ourselves. Let's go.
Good on you.
It's not where they put the stuff from the Oppenheimer bombs, is it?
I can't confirm or deny.
That wouldn't be good. I don't want to stir that up.
No, you want like a home ice advantage though? Like just a little radiation.
A little edge.
They start getting more and more jacked throughout the year, but then they also start getting other eyes and extra body parts.
It'll be the new steroids era.
Yeah, everybody wants to come to Arizona suddenly. I got a second right arm. Now I can hold my stick way better.
I can hold 2 sticks.
Yeah. They have to make special jerseys for the players with additional limbs. Oh my goodness.
There's like special equipment.
Everyone from New Mexico is like, because that's what they're famous for. Everyone's hating this right now that I'm confusing the two. But
yeah,
That and Breaking Bad. That's what they've got.
Yes, that's what they got.
Which isn't even real. Spoiler alert.
They're the real Los Porros Hermanos.
Yeah, that's true.
Is there a real one?
Yeah, you can go to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is you can get special like equipment things based on like there was like a goalie, this was forever ago, that was allowed to have 2 blockers because he was like
Mm.
something with like one of his hands like he couldn't like close it or something. So like you could have
Yeah.
not back to the radiation thing, you have special equipment. But yeah, there are like
Special equipment.
real world cases of like getting special exceptions to the equipment rules.
Obviously, that would not be an advantage for anybody who doesn't have the lack of ability to close their fist. So,
What about 2 gloves?
2 gloves would I guess it would be.
Maybe was it 2 gloves or 2 blockers? I don't remember.
Well,
No,
you
it's probably
can't-
2 gloves because he couldn't.
But how do you hold this? How do you hold this stick? If you have 2 gloves,
Probably the stick in the functioning hand, and then rather than a
Yeah,
glove that you can close, you'd probably just add a blocker on the other hand.
so no glove then. Yeah.
Probably punching it.
Yeah. So two blockers.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It would be tough to consistently freeze
We'll
the
find
puck.
this out.
We got this. We got our crack research team on it.
Yeah. Pull it up, Dean.
Okay, well, there's 2. Actually, I think both have happened.
Oh.
So Bill Durnan, he wore 2 gloves, but this was also might have been like before blockers or even I don't know. Let's see. Durnan could get away with it because gloves of his time still allowed one to grip a stick. Modern trappers do not. But then I think it was Dan Blackburn who had 2 blockers. I think that's who I'm thinking of.
2 blockers.
Yeah, he had nerve exploration surgery in 2004 and then made an attempt to return to hockey, sporting a pair of blockers rather than the conventional blocker-catcher combination, as his injury rendered him incapable of rotating his glove hand. So like he was like this because he couldn't do that on one hand. That's what I'm thinking of.
And he actually
Dan
played.
Blackburn.
He actually played in the NHL, or he just played like hockey. And,
Yeah, he played for the Rangers.
Oh,
He
okay.
played in his backyard.
But
pond.
he didn't. I mean, he wasn't the same after. Like he didn't have a long
Right.
career once he had 2 blockers.
Still cool though.
Yeah.
Good story. Well, maybe not the happiest of endings if his career kind of took a.
Well, he
dive.
made it back. He made it back after the surgery, I guess. So.
Yeah. Still interesting.
Just a little fun fact.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
You learn something all the time on the Bread Loves Hockey podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even we're learning. I wonder if there's any other weird cases like that with other sort of specialized equipment. I'm sure there probably are minor things with maybe sticks and tape and stuff. There's probably things that are illegal now that happened before, but interesting.
What can you do with a stick? Do you know, Dean? Like,
The limitations.
Well, it has to be
Yeah.
approved by the league. So like, there's
Okay.
certain like stuff you can't put on, obviously, but like just standard hockey tape, you can either not use it or use it however you want. I think. I mean, there's like some goalies that use like a whole roll of tape on like the butt end of their stick, just so you basically just have more room.
yeah.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't, like as long as it's approved in the NHL rules or whatever, you can do it.
I'm sure there's been people that really flirt with that line of what's approved.
Well, the thing with wooden
course.
sticks too, where people like players started jamming the like head of their stick in the boards to try to bend it a little before curved blades were a thing. Like always people trying to game the system a little bit. Speaking about gaming the system, this isn't even in our agenda. I think it was Levi actually, where he would when they were like shoveling the ice, I think he would stand at the dot, the face-off dot, so that they didn't shovel there. So like it stayed snowy where people would shoot from. He was like trying to, and then I think he got told to stop doing that.
Mm.
He would like block the people shoveling.
I didn't
Why
think
we
that.
got him. That's thinking with your head there.
Yeah.
I didn't think that that's the reason that he was doing it. I thought it was just like he was just trying to stay in the zone or whatever, and didn't want to leave the ice or something. But I guess that probably was what he was doing. Maybe that's what he was
It
telling
might be a
people.
little bit of both. Yeah.
Because goalies are freaking weird as it is. So like,
Right.
yeah, they usually have like these old little rituals and things that they try to do to keep themselves mentally, in it. So, but I guess they probably like, okay, we actually have to scrape the ice off this part, so we're gonna need you to scooch over a little bit. Yeah, I did know that he was doing that, but I didn't know.
Yeah, I think the league's like,
Like, we scraped the whole thing for a reason.
Oh yeah, he's like kneeling basically, like in front of his net in the slot.
I wonder if it ever actually worked. Like, if it
During
really
commercial
made
break.
a difference.
Well, this says
subtle
he does it because
stuff.
he was inspired by Qui-Gon Jinn when he
I
was a
did
kid.
see that.
Yes, they call him Levi the Jedi out here in these parts.
Oh man, that was just such an easy comment right there. We'll watch his career with great interest. Perfect.
Oh, yeah. We got Darth Vladar in Calgary, and now we got Levi the Jedi.
Yep.
How many more Star Wars reference goaltenders?
Too bad he
could we
won't
get?
be able to do that anymore.
Yeah, too bad.
It's so funny. So some of the 2-minute video of him just doing like someone's at the game and filming him, and it's just everyone shoveling, and he's just kneeling there in between the face-off dots.
He's just there in the way.
Yeah, and they're like, I guess we'll just shovel around him.
What are we gonna do? Like,
Yeah, too bad.
you can't
do
just
that
ask
anymore.
him to move over. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, well,
If he can take a shot, he's not going to take one of us.
Yeah. Sandroni, did you see the new Rangers jersey that they just announced? It's like the new third jersey.
I heard, but I haven't seen it.
So it has the like actual Rangers logo, which they've only used like once or twice, I think. I think a lot of people still think it's kind of like weird to have that, like the actual, is it called a chevron logo? Like whatever the full Rangers logo is. It's weird for a lot of people to have as like the chest piece. But and then it's like they're dark blue with a whole bunch of striping on the elbows.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like leaked a little while ago. Somebody actually bought one like on like Facebook Marketplace or something before they were officially revealed. But now they're gonna wear them, I think like 12 times this year. They're all gonna wear them at Madison Square Garden. So I think it's been a little bit since they've had an alternate jersey. So we'll see if they stick around. I think a lot of people are still unsure about having that logo because obviously they have the just the Rangers word mark, which is pretty iconic. You don't see many of these original 6 teams changing things up a whole lot.
Yeah.
Maybe the Bruins do a little bit. I feel like out of all the original 6 teams, like maybe the Bruins change up stuff the most.
I feel like the Red Wings the least.
Yeah, definitely the Red Wings
Like,
the least.
Our jerseys are red, and we have this crest in the middle, and that's it. Sometimes they'll be white, and sometimes they'll be red. That's it. No new colors, no stripes, no.
Yeah, they've introduced like some gray or silver like a couple of times. They've done like a little bit of like an off-white, and that's it. Like they haven't even done like black. I don't think. I think a lot of people have been like, when are we gonna get like a black Red Wings jersey? But nope.
That'd be cool.
We have red. We have white. We're the Red Wings. That's end of story. Chicago's
It's
pretty
like
similar,
Coca-Cola. You got to keep it
Yeah.
standard. Like shaking it up for the expansion teams.
Well,
Right?
Pepsi changed their logo pretty recently. I guess they could be Rangers. They're same colors.
There you go.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the new Pepsi logo? I guess we could talk about that.
No. Let's talk about that.
I
How
don't think
new
it's
is
actually
it?
that bad. I like the old one, but this one's good too. We can throw it up.
Oh, I don't like that font.
Oh.
It's definitely a different font. It's a lot thicker than the old one.
Yeah. Well, and then the vertical, like the colors instead of the weird
The swirl or whatever.
swirl, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, in 10 years, we'll be like, wow, that old logo looks so old and outdated. Like, remember when it used to be that?
Oh yeah, that always happens. Like,
And there's things like saltine crackers who haven't changed their logo since like became a thing.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what like Coca-Cola. They haven't changed in like 150 years or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely something to that. Like, you're always gonna have
Mhm.
it's pretty standard branding and stuff, but there's definitely something to be said for like mixing things up, having something like you want to have a way to represent that you're a Red Wings fan, but maybe you don't want to wear exactly what everybody else is wearing. Like, I'm always sort of looking for sort of stuff that's a little bit different, especially if I'm buying like a winter hat or, I mean, jerseys are different because the players wear those and all the fans will wear them and stuff, but yeah, just something a little that sets me apart a little bit is kind of nice. I
Also, like the
I got weird stuff in here too. The Heineken Islanders sign, and I got that Sharks lunchbox and things. So
yeah.
no.
I feel like when the I guess it's the league or the broadcast network switch up the scoreboards too. Like if you look back at like old highlights
Yeah.
and you're like, wow, it looks so outdated. Where it's like it used to just be like the full logo in like a box, and then now they do the thing where it's like zoomed in, where you see like part of the logo. And I remember thinking that was so dumb at first, and now I'm like, oh, that looks so like modern compared to like the old scoreboards.
I don't know if I really like the zoomed in logo thing on the score bugs.
Well, I feel like they keep zooming in more and more. like
It's
it's
And then
more
a long
modern the
time
more
ago,
zoomed in you get. It's like I don't think
they
that's
used to
how.
just pop it up in the corner for like 5 seconds and
Yeah.
then go away.
Yeah, they wouldn't even have it on screen at all.
Like,
It would just be the only
Here's
thing
an
on there
update.
was game. Yeah.
And I have a
Yeah.
ticker across the bottom on some networks. I do like the shot counter though. That's nice. I enjoy
Shot
it a
counter
lot.
is always good.
Mm.
Because that's like a really quick way to get a lot more information about how the game's going besides just the score. Like,
Yeah. And you get that in the stadium, like even at Clarkson, like
Yeah.
we would get a shot count.
yeah,
Yeah.
And I like when ESPN puts the power play counter on the ice. Big fan of that.
oh, that's
Oh,
good.
yeah.
That is good too. Yeah,
Like I don't have to look away from the play. It's just right in the play. Like I don't have to look all the way to the top left of my 200-inch flat screen TV.
yeah. You're gonna crane your neck trying to
Yeah.
check the time. Yeah,
You got to stretch first.
Yeah.
there's a lot that goes
Following the
into
play,
watching a
play down
game.
the ice.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good. I think ESPN has done a couple things to innovate, but they haven't always stuck with them. I know I've talked about in one of our earlier episodes. They did that thing called The Rush the first year, which was like where they had the commentators like not talk, and it was basically just the sounds of the ice for like a minute or two or however long until they had a stoppage basically, and that was kind of
I'm in
different.
favor of them having a whole channel for that.
I bet you're not alone in that. I think there are definitely people who are like, I don't want to hear these freaking yahoos talk. Like, I know what I want, and I just want
Especially
on
the
cable-
worst one is in football when they have the Mannings.
I like that one. I used
I
to
like
watch
the
I
Manning
that.
hate
cast.
that one.
Oh, really?
Cause it's like I kind of would like the opposite actually, where it's like basically, I mean, you don't need to be talking and saying who's getting the pass from who. Like if you just basically have like something like this, like a hockey podcast, you're just talking hockey, two guys like chatting about hockey while I'm watching a hockey game. Like that would be great. Like I don't need to. And then when the play stops, you can do the breakdown thing, have the color commentator do his thing. But
Yeah.
just like chat about
I
whatever.
really like like the radio. I like it. Like puts me in the zone. Like
You have to pay a lot more attention when
I
it comes
won't
to the
just
radio.
listen to the radio when I have a TV over there. But if I have to listen to the radio, then I don't mind it. Like.
And they really set the scene. It'll be like, and the
Yeah.
Bruins are playing from right to left this period. It's like, I see it now. Like, thank you. Like,
See it.
and yeah,
Mind's
it's like
eye.
very descriptive and like narration, like full narration. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah, they don't have any of the same benefits that the television broadcasters have. You can clearly see where this person's playing. It's like, well, nope, we can't see it. So yeah, you need to be my eyes, and I need to listen very closely to what you're saying to really get the full scope. Like, yeah, you definitely have to pay a lot more attention. Like, you can just have a television game on in the background, and like you can like sort of half paying attention. But
you hear yelling, you look up.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, something exciting happening.
Yeah, you can't get that for radio.
And I feel like you get like more of like an inside view of what's going on. Like they explain things better than even the TV guys do.
It's more intimate.
I feel, yeah.
It's a
they
more
also probably
experience.
assume you're more of a like. I feel like the more hardcore fans are gonna listen to a sports game in general.
Yeah,
than just throw one on TV.
Yeah, it's not like it's just down in the bar or something.
Yeah.
It's like if you're tuning
going
into
out
the
of your
game,
way.
it's because you're driving somewhere that you have to go,
Yeah.
and you want to listen to the game.
Yeah.
and not
just
like
through the station.
getting a
Ooh, I hear a
crash
hockey
by
game.
looking at your phone or something.
Let me listen to this.
Yeah. You don't stumble across a hockey game.
No.
You're like seeking it out in the radio.
Yeah.
The other thing that Nesson's been doing that I like is they'll do like when players have been injured, they have them up in the booth and just like talking, and that's been nice because like they'll ask them whatever questions. Be like, I think Brick will always ask the player how they watch the game, like more of a fan or like more like analyzing it or like stuff like that. So it's cool to see. And again, like you don't need Jack Edwards to be saying like commentating on the play the whole time. You can hear the player talk about whatever, and then on the stoppages, obviously, can break down what just happened or whatever. So, like a mix of things like that.
Baseball lately, they've been like miking up players in the outfield or something like that for an inning. It's a little weird.
Yeah, I feel like there's less.
That's a little much.
Than like, because the NHL obviously they have mic'd up, but like if you're a right fielder, who are you talking to?
Well, like the commentators, because like they're in their ear.
Oh,
so
okay.
They're like asking them questions.
So it's like what they do at the All-Star game, where they'll have people down on the ice and like chatting.
Yeah.
That's kind of
just
cool.
like
I feel
that.
like I'd be like in my own,
like
I want
Sunday
to talk
night
to anyone.
baseball.
Like while I'm
It's
playing,
like the
I
game
just
of the
concentrate.
week. Yeah.
That's different.
Interesting.
I don't think I talked about this yet on the podcast, but I know I put it in our group chat one time when I can't remember which player it was. I feel like it was maybe it was Quinn Hughes or something. He had or maybe it was one of the Devils players. I can't remember, but they interviewed him on the bench, like in between a stoppage and before they were about to get the play going, and then I think a little bit during the actual play, they were still talking. Which I know they do that with coaches, but I don't think I had ever seen them do it with a player before, like while the game's actually going on, because it seems like that's usually like a no-go. But that was different. I was like so taken aback that I didn't really pay attention enough to like the responses, I guess, to see like how the player felt about it.
That was on ESPN.
I believe it was. Yeah, I think it was an ESPN game.
I don't know if I've watched games. The Bruins have been on NHL Network a few times, but like I haven't noticed. I don't know if you watched any other games on ESPN since then and seen if it's happened again.
That's the only time that I've seen it so far. Maybe it was TNT, but I do think it was ESPN. I'll have to maybe do some research to see if I can see if I specify it in the group chat message, because that might be the only gateway I have to finding out. But I had a date stamp, so that's helpful if I have to look at all the frickin' games that were going on that day.
In that case, they were like interviewing them and stuff. It wasn't just like him mic'd up on the ice?
No, yeah, it was like an on ice reporter like talking
Yeah.
with the player. Which yeah, I think I've had. Well, I don't know if I've seen it where they've done like a just mic talk during the play. Sometimes they do like replays, like where they have somebody who's mic'd up, but I feel like they never want to do the live mic for a player like while they're in the game because
you don't really want to
say
like get
shit
in the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess like in Formula One, at the end of each race, you get like a compilation of all the radio highlights, like
That's cool.
them the drivers talking to their teams and stuff. And there's a lot of shit in that they bleep out.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Sometimes the like the mic'd up stuff for the hockey players is like basically useless. It's like
Yeah, like going into the boards and go like, oh, and like making like noises and like
grunts
hitting the ice, and then like after a goal, they're going, yeah, and like
let's go, boys. Like it's like
here we go.
Standard
wow,
stuff.
that was so insightful. Thank you.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what we're really expecting these guys to be saying out
They're
there.
just hoping to get like a gem out of it, like they mic up the right person and they like get in a fight or like trip someone or I don't know.
Yeah, you'll definitely see
something
like
to go viral.
Some of the more prolific players are more talkative ones. Like, really, Matthew Tkachuk is getting the mic again. It's like, well, yeah. We're gonna not. I feel like they don't do too many goalies, but that could be.
That'd be cool.
I think they have done some, but it's and they're usually a lot funnier too.
I want to see Swayman mic'd up actually, because he's
Yeah.
always like after the whistle, like he's like smiling and laughing, like talking to the refs and stuff. Like I want to know what he's talking about.
That's like exactly who I was thinking of too. Is that they're just so much different, and like they have such a different experience during the game than the skaters do. So yeah, I think
start a petition.
That'd be fun.
Mic up Swayman.
I remember a Clarkson game where there was a goalie that started playing with the crowd a little bit, an opposing goalie.
Oh yeah.
And he forever became their like the fan favorite.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
I do remember that. Cause you're always
like the crowd will say something and then he'd react to it, and then they'd know that there's they got to him.
Yeah, right. I can't remember. It was something like where he like they were talking about his butt or something, and he like backed
There's
up.
the bend over one.
Oh yeah. And then he actually bends over and
or no, he psyched him out.
he faked him out. It's like gotcha. Everybody started cheering, but I didn't actually do it. Yeah. Just a little much more intimate experience.
I think he was a backup goalie.
Probably. Yeah, I think you're right. I wish I could remember the players. I think he was on Brown, I want to say, but I'm not confident.
No, he was on Union.
Oh, Union, really?
I don't remember the player though. Not good with names.
Maybe if I saw one of the rosters, I might be able to pick out the name, but
well, you only have 4 years to look through.
Yeah. Do you remember what year it was in school for us?
Junior year.
All right, we'll start there.
I don't know. I was there a while.
Yeah. Why don't we just look at all the years?
Yeah.
I might not even freaking find it. It's probably so like useless. It's like who really?
The fans want to know.
Yeah, like I don't know if anyone actually. Hey, call in or email us if you really want to know, because we haven't.
Yeah.
We opened the phone line and we unfortunately didn't get any mail today to share.
I'll go over the number again. It's 720-507-5496.
We'll have that.
720-507-5496. Is it in the show notes?
5496. And we also have an email, breadhockey@gmail.com, if you want to email us.
Is it down below in the show notes?
It is. You just pointed to it actually on the screen. It's right there.
Down there.
Check it out.
Right down there. Check it out.
Yeah. We'll see. It's another option. We're just trying to get as many. I mean, it's very easy to interact with us if you actually watch because we don't get like any comments on YouTube. So if we got a single one, I would definitely see it.
They're very hard to get a hold of.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just booked up all the way through the new year.
Oh gosh, yeah, we're pretty exclusive.
Yeah,
It was
pretty tight
Kupski.
schedules. Kupski.
That sounds right.
We want Kupski.
We love Kupski.
Yeah.
Big Kupski.
I do.
Found it.
I remember that chant. Yeah, we want Kupski. Every time we played them after that for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
That must have been a strange feeling for him. Oh, thanks, Dean. Now I don't have to go through the trouble
You're
of finding
welcome. Well, it's funny because I scrolled to the bottom and they had two goalies. And I'm like, Young and Hansen. And I haven't heard of either of these guys. And then I looked at the top because he's number 1, Kupski.
it.
He's making a way. He's coming out as a goalie. Yeah.
Wow, they used to have a goalie named Alex Sakeleropoulos.
Say again.
Sakeleropoulos.
You might have gotten that right.
Uh,
We'll get him on the show.
Yeah.
Next week.
Ask him where Kupski.
Yeah, luckily we've already booked him out. We had this whole bit was already pre-planned.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. More like I literally texted Ryan yesterday and was like, "Hey, you want to come on?" Sure.
Yeah.
We appreciate your leniency.
Guys must have been out of options.
AHL teams.
No, you were the first person I reached out to. Actually.
Oh, really? No one else is available. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see how this week goes.
It's like, maybe I'll try him again. And Owen, you're sure you're not available?
This is your podcast.
After all, yeah. We're just along for the ride at this point.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Owen handles the Tinder account.
Yeah.
That's true.
for
I
the
gotta get
podcast.
updates from him on that.
We haven't gotten any callers from,
We're on
from his
all
exposure.
social media platforms.
We mean everything.
Oh. Check out the Bread Hockey OnlyFans.
Yeah. Exclusive behind the scenes content.
See bread
Only
in
if
every
you really
jersey.
want it.
Yeah. See me without my jerseys on. Oh, how naughty. We're on LinkedIn and we're on farmingpeoplemeet.com and what is it?
Farmers Only?
Yeah, Farmers Only. That's the one. I think I was mixing.
I'm out here in the country. I know what that is.
Yeah, there you go.
You don't have to be lonely on farmersonly.com.
We've got a spokesperson for the website here today. Oh, Dean, what do you think? You wanna wrap it up with the with your fun Dean quiz?
Yes, my fun Dean quiz. I'm gonna quiz you on how well you know Dean.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
No, it's the real casual one.
Okay,
I don't know if you
good.
guys know this, but Hockey Reference recently added player nicknames to the website.
Oh.
So I'm gonna go through and I'm not gonna do buzzers or anything. So if you know it, just go ahead and say the name.
Say it.
I'm gonna start. All these people have multiple nicknames on the website. There's some ones I've never heard of, like really obscure ones. So I'm gonna start with their most obscure nickname, which I think is the most obscure, and then I'll work my way to the more obvious ones. So I have 12 people here, or I have 13, I guess, because I wanted to do an odd number in case it's a tie.
Yep.
And
Good to be
we'll just
prepared.
go through and see how it goes. So this player, one of his nicknames is Daryl. You're not going to get it from this, so I'm just going to move on to the next one. Also, you're not going to lose points for guessing. You just shout out names. We have another nickname, Preacher.
I feel like I've heard that one before, but I don't even have a. I don't think I have a good guess.
No guesses yet, Sandroni?
Nope.
What about Bing? This is the first one I said when I was asking Owen because I knew he wasn't gonna be on the pod, so I asked him a couple, and then he got it off of Bing.
I mean, I'm thinking Bennington, but I don't know.
No, that's a good guess.
I don't feel strong about it.
Nothing on that one.
No.
Bing. Chandler
All right.
Stevenson
No.
for Chandler Bing.
What about which one do I want to do next? Captain Canada.
Captain Canada.
Nothing, huh? All right.
Crosby?
How about? There we go.
Bing Crosby. I got it now.
Bing Crosby. He also goes by the next one, which was what I was going to ask next. Which, cause I knew that one because it was obviously the great one and the next one.
I hadn't heard that one before, actually.
The Squid, Squidney, Golden Boy, and then obviously, Sid the Kid and Sid he goes by as well.
My sister's name is Sydney, and we call her Sid.
There you go.
Sid the Sloth. He goes by.
That is not one of Crosby's nicknames.
Not as good as the kid.
Maybe we can get it
Not
going
as good
now.
as the kid.
Or the Golden Boy.
All right. This person, one of his nicknames is the Crane.
No way anybody calls anyone that.
Here comes the Crane.
What about the Chosen One?
The Chosen One?
The Chosen.
I mean, it's got to be like a superstar, I feel like.
Good thought process.
Maybe like McDavid, I guess. I don't know.
McDavid is the Chosen One.
The Crane.
Why is he by Davo, and then you probably know his other nickname.
McJesus.
There we go.
McJesus for the Latin America listeners.
Yeah.
All right. This next person only has one obscure one. I feel like all the other ones you'll know. So we're just gonna start with this one, the Mechanic.
I have not heard that.
All right, maybe the next one. See if you can give Sandroni a second to see if he can get this. The Russian Machine. You got this one, Sandroni?
No.
No.
The Russian Machine.
Brendan probably knows it.
Malkin.
Goes along with the Mechanic.
Malkin. No, it's not Malkin.
Oh.
No.
You can't guess again this round. What do you got, Sandroni? Any guesses?
I can't guess again?
Who's a good Russian player?
Well, it was down between two, so I guess I guessed wrong.
I don't know.
Right.
No.
Their next nickname. Oh.
Oh God. I mean, I knew who it was.
Yeah.
As soon as I got Malkin wrong.
Yeah.
No.
He also goes by the Great Eight, Ovi, and then
Great
Alexander the Great.
Alexander the Great.
Greek.
Yeah, Greek.
Macedonian.
All right, how about the
I don't know if you're
Magician?
right. The Magician?
Yeah.
Marner?
Yeah.
Good job, Brendan.
What made you guess that?
I feel like I have heard that before.
I'm not sure if I have, but I'm like, that makes sense. So maybe I have. Any other nicknames you know of his? It's like a classic hockey nickname. Like you just take their last name and like either shorten it or like add a Y.
Yeah, like Mitchie, I'm sure they probably call him.
Mitchie is one of his nicknames. Also, Marnes.
Marnes, yeah.
This was my favorite. Bruno Marnes.
Bruno Marnes.
Magic Mitch, Mouse, and Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse.
I know Levi the Jedi.
I should check if that's on here.
I
looked up Eric Howla to see if Hall of Famer was one of them, and it wasn't.
Howla Batgirl.
Howla Famer.
What about Mr. Terrific? I'll give you hints other than their other nicknames because the other ones are all obvious because they have their name in it. This person's retired and they're on the Bruins. I've never heard this nickname also, so it doesn't help.
Bergeron?
Bergeron?
I just had to throw him in there.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a must for any trivia.
Everyone just called him Bergie or St. Patrice. Prince
Patrice.
Patrice apparently
Saint
was one as
Patrice.
well, but I hadn't heard that one either.
The, like, 3 syllables or more, usually they don't... I feel like they wouldn't use that nickname that much. Like,
Yeah. So most of those, for those people so far, I'm like, oh, their big name, I'll start with that and then look up their nicknames. This person, I knew of their nicknames, so then I looked them up. So this person has this no nickname, Mr. Game 7.
Justin Williams.
Mm-hmm. I guess I could have started with his obscure ones, but I don't think you would have gotten... Well, Willie, his other nickname is Stick.
Stick. I had not heard that before.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, I remember who I looked up. Wait, I think I have him in here. Yeah, I'll wait. I have him in here. So
I just happened to read somebody commented on a Reddit post the other day about like meeting NHL players, and someone was like, "Yeah, I happened to move in, or like the Williams like moved in across the street from me. Like they lived there in Raleigh for like 3 years or something after he retired." It's like, yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like just walking over to meet your neighbors, like, oh my god. Like obviously this guy must live in a pretty good neighborhood, but still.
yeah.
Pretty cool.
What about Big Rig? Big Rig.
Big Rig.
Pat Maroon?
No. I forget what his nickname is. But...
I've definitely heard Big Rig before.
He also goes by Rig and T-Bone.
T-Bone.
And then his last nickname is Boiler.
I feel like that should be the most obvious one, but I'm not getting getting it.
Boiler.
All I'm thinking is Brian Boyle, but I don't even think he's in the league anymore.
Yeah, I like his nicknames. That's who it is. Well, I was originally going to go with Vasilevsky, and then I changed it because he has 2, Big Cat and then Vassy. So I was like,
Big Cat, yeah. I did know that
Big
one.
Cat.
Did you see he just had an interview, or yeah, it was like an interview after one of the games, or maybe it was before the game. I think it was after. And like somebody like there like farted, and like he couldn't like everybody just started laughing. They're like, oh my god, he's trying to get through it. He keeps like smiling halfway through his like answer. He can't even remember what the question is. He's like, oh my god, like farts are always funny. Apparently.
This guy's nickname, first one on the list, is Lazy.
Lazy?
Lazy. You don't want to be known by that nickname.
Yeah.
Must be Phil Kessel.
No, that's a good guess though. The second nickname Brendan will know easily. It's an obvious one. The Real Deal.
Oh my goodness! I've got 7 of them. It's James Neal.
Yeah. I didn't know he went. I don't know who's called him Lazy, but it's on there.
Lazy James Neal. Yeah, I would never call him that.
No.
If there's a shred of chance that he could be on the show someday.
Not to his face, anyway.
Right.
All right, who's the Russian Rifle? Mm-hmm.
I feel like your eyes are indicating Malkin, but
No.
I don't know. I didn't feel strongly about that. The Russian.
How many other Russian hockey players you know, Sandroni?
Not a lot.
Maybe like Kucherov?
I don't know. I'm not good with names.
His other nickname is Kuch.
Yeah. I would have gotten it with the second one.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
This is a
Just waiting
nickname I
for
really like.
Levi the Jedi, and I'm going to win that round.
You ready? You ready for this one? I do have to look him up after this. Yeast Mode.
Oh, it's kind of gross.
Any guesses, Brendan?
Panarin?
Yeah.
Oh.
Breadman.
He goes by Breadman and Bread. Bread.
Well, we gotta get him on the show too.
Yeah.
Obviously.
He loves hockey.
He's coming up. We got him scheduled for February. We got them all booked out.
All right, I'm just gonna list off 3 of this guy's nicknames real quick: Huggy, Huggy Bear, Huggy Dog.
Dougie Hamilton?
No.
Damn, I felt pretty good about that one.
What about? He also goes by Q and Q Ball.
Quinn Hughes?
Yeah. And he goes by Quinny, Quinner, and Hughesy.
He's a big softy.
All hockey names there.
Big nickname guy.
Big nickname guy, I guess. He's got a ton of them. All right, we got 2 more. Oh, and then I gotta look up your guy, Levi. Your guy, Levi. That should be his nickname.
Your guy.
You're my guy.
What about the Deutschland Dangler? Such a good name.
Gotta be Draisaitl, I would think.
Yeah. He goes by Dr. Dry.
Dr. Dry.
Neon Leon.
That's a good one.
That is a good
I'm like, there can't be that many other like super German, like super strong German players that like would have a name like that.
All right, what about Hot Wheels?
Oh, I've definitely heard this one before.
Really?
But what was it?
Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels.
Blake Wheeler?
Big Moose. And the Moose.
Oh, is it Marcus Foligno?
Either Foligno.
Not
From
any
Finland.
Foligno.
He's Finnish.
Oh, Finnish.
He makes.
Rantanen.
Yeah.
Miko.
Well, there you go. There's some players' nicknames that no one probably calls them. Let me look up Levi.
I've heard the Moose one. I've heard the Moose one before.
Levi has no nicknames. It should be like a Wikipedia thing. Imagine how many nicknames players would have if people could just put whatever.
Oh God, yeah.
Well,
Well,
I guess Wikipedia is it's under control. So I don't know.
who moderates the Hockey DB page? Maybe you can.
It's Hockey Reference,
Oh, Hockey Reference.
and I don't know.
Well, maybe you can become a moderator and add
Yeah,
it
we have
in.
some suggestions.
Yeah.
And Eric Holla needs his on there.
That is a good one.
Hall of Famer.
Holla back, girl.
I forget what his nicknames actually are. Oh, Hallelujah is pretty good. And then Holla back. Need Hall of
Classic.
Fame. Alright, well that was my whole quiz. Good job, Brendan. You won.
It was fun, Dean.
Well, now you know some player nicknames. So there you go.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna quiz Sandroni on how on any of them that I already said.
Yeah. All of Quinn Hughes' nicknames.
Oh God, yeah.
All 10 of them or whatever.
Q.
Q.
Yeah, you got one. Good
Q
job.
ball.
Yeah.
Huggy bear.
Huggy dog.
Huggy dog.
Huggy dog. Hug.
So all 3 of the Hughes brothers are actually playing tonight.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
40 minutes.
I can't even watch the Sabres tonight because they have the Islanders, the Knicks, and the Rangers are all playing. So like bumps them off the MSG train there.
Well, at least you have cable because otherwise it would all be blacked
Yeah.
out. Like
Yeah.
ESPN, you wouldn't be able to watch the Devils, the Sabres, the Rangers, or the Islanders.
Only.
It's not good.
Yeah. Or the Knicks. Don't forget about the Knicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much any New York or New Jersey based team you will be able to watch.
No. The Nets are on yes. It's just those. It's just those, the hockey teams and
for MSG.
The Knicks. Yeah, for MSG.
Well, yeah, I
The
guess
Knicks are the only other. Yeah.
most of the football games aren't on ESPN Plus. Usually,
They put
so
on
it
like
doesn't matter.
some of the interviews and stuff for the football games on MSG, but they can't broadcast it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to cover, Brendan?
I guess I could just briefly mention. I don't know if you guys saw this, but so the away uniforms now you're allowed to mix up the helmets that you pair with it more. Like beforehand, it was just I think it was just white buckets with the white uniforms, and now you can. I think as long as it's not the same color as the opponent's helmet, you can, like, as long as it matches the uniform, like, you can wear it. So we've seen like I don't know how many teams have already done it, but I think most of the combinations have looked pretty good. Like the Devils had like a black helmet with their white jersey, which looked good. I think the Canes were maybe the first ones to do it. They had their red helmets with the white jerseys, but yeah, a bunch of teams have done it at this point, and I think they look pretty good. It's not like a huge thing, but just adds a little bit something different, makes the away
that opens the door for marketing. Are you going to get a bunch of helmets now? You could wear a helmet on the show.
I do have a helmet, but it doesn't have a visor. It's just helmet, and that's it.
Living dangerous.
So did every NHL team have to wear a white helmet for away? I've never noticed. But
I think so. I have to double check on that, but I think that was it. And then now like they can coordinate with the pants or with the socks or something a little bit more. So it's been pretty cool. Like the Sharks were able to wear like teal helmets with their white jerseys, so it just adds a little bit more accent.
You'd also be cheap as a franchise. Only have one set of helmets now.
Yeah, if it looks good to wear the same color for both nights, yeah. I wonder if Vegas would ever wear their shiny gold helmets.
That'd be so obnoxious.
It's like, you're in our building and you're gonna wear those monstrosities. The Kings have their like chrome dome ones too, which I think have been received about the same as the Vegas ones, which is most people don't like them. They think they're terrible.
I think it was the last Sandroni episode we talked about this.
I know, we did. Notre Dame has gold helmets for football and I think for hockey too.
We threw up a picture for the hockey ones.
I actually don't think
they look that bad.
Illinois, I think they have pretty shiny helmets for football. So does Oregon. I don't like.
It was like the opposite, like the matte black. I thought was really cool.
Yeah,
like the Vikings had the matte purple. They were like one of the first NFL teams to do like the matte for the helmets. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, and some of the NHL teams have been doing that too. Like I know the Coyotes did like a matte maroon for their like alternate maroon jerseys with the word mark. So yeah, it's cool to see just the slow evolution of some things with this stuff. Fortunately, still the ads are a whole different issue, but it looks like those aren't going to be going away anytime soon.
Nope.
And now we got to deal with Fanatics next year, so I'm just trying to get in as much of the Adidas era as I can before they're gone. I still haven't gotten the Vegas Winter Classic jersey yet. That'll be going right over there at some point, but we'll see. I might hold out on that one because I feel like it's not going to sell that good, and maybe I'll be able to get it at a discount, but I don't know. It's Vegas stuff, which always kind of sells, so I guess I'll gauge how I'm feeling.
It'd be tough being in a big market franchise.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty crazy. All right, well, Sandroni, we appreciate you hopping on.
Yep.
And we'll have to have you call in or email us in the future to keep you around if you have any burning.
We'll have you back for episode 30.
Yeah, there you go.
30. I'll be looking forward to it. About a month and a half.
Now. Mark in your calendar.
Weeks. Yeah, mark it down.
This podcast has brought me so many fans from the world. They're too numerous to mention right now. So. I am now an authority figure in the world of hockey news.
There you go.
You're in the media.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's an insider.
Yeah, well.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be at one of the Sabres games. Everybody's gonna be hounding you for autographs and photos. Like, oh
Yeah. You guys won't be able to touch me. It's me they want. Those episodes that end in a 0, 10s, and 20.
Yeah.
Well, you do end the intro of our podcast too.
That's true.
Yes, I noticed that. It's a good punchy end.
I thought that was a great clip. I was like, this is so good. We gotta get this on here.
Yeah.
Plus, it's a dig at Owen.
Yeah.
So
Right.
shout outs.
Shout outs. He'll be on next week to say how the Suns are doing.
Yeah.
Still not good.
Need our update. He's watching them right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to go follow the play-by-play or get in my car and listen to the radio.
There you go.
One or the other.
Sends her up 5-2 to the Rangers.
Oh.
Blue Jackets and Kings are tied, man.
What's the Sabres?
Go Blue Jackets.
Give it to me straight, Dean.
Down 4-1 after 2.
Don't give it to me straight.
You could lie a little bit. It's a close one.
Sharks are only down by 1 to the Islanders going into the third.
Yeah.
Well, alrighty then.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Tuning in to our little radio station here. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
We'll catch you next time.
So long.
Bye.
Bye.
I just know how bad Buffalo's doing.
Maybe you should go back to the Ducks.